I'm Ellie and welcome back to Arcadia, my self-converted Toyota Hiace, which I am currently travelling the east coast of Australia in. And one thing that I've become very aware of in my few weeks of van life so far is the way in which my environmental impact has changed. Quite a few people give the reduction in waste and the opportunity to live in a more environmentally friendly way as a reason for embarking on van life, so I thought I would share with you the observations that I have made about my own environmental impact so far. I'm Ellie Wilder and you're watching Wilder in Motion. So I'm going to break down my environmental impact into categories, starting with water consumption. Now, I touched on this in my last video that I use about 20 litres of fresh water in the van per week. And that is mainly on drinking water, washing up, and water that I use for cooking. But I do also have a 600ml bottle that I fill up outside the van whenever I can. Now, I do have an outdoor shower option by flipping around the tap that you see in the background there, but I mostly use showers located at beaches. And I would say that this is one of the biggest reductions in consumption. Back when I was at home and I had ready access to flowing hot water, I felt like I would probably have taken about 15 minutes in the shower, whereas at these beach showers they are pressed to turn on and then they turn off after a short amount of time, and they've all been cold water showers so far. So I think this means that I probably only spend about 2 minutes with the water actually flowing, and a lot of them are some kind of water saving head anyway. So I'd say my water consumption is one of the things that has been most drastically reduced, and it's really made me think about how much water one does need to use. I also haven't been washing my hair every day, I've just been using dry shampoo, so that has also contributed to reducing my water usage. And the other big thing that uses water is washing clothes. Hand washing doesn't use that much, but most of my laundry has been piling up now, so I will eventually need to go to a laundromat or something like that and use a proper washing machine, so obviously that is going to use quite a bit of water as well. But even the strictest water restrictions in the world are sitting at about 150 litres per person per day, and I can say that I use less than 150 litres per week easily. As for electricity, if you've been watching my van build, then you would know that I have solar. I specifically have 200 watts of solar panels going into a 120 amp hour battery, and this charges things in my van like my phone, also connects up to my fridge and my max fan, which is on at the moment. And I have been entirely off-grid so far. I haven't plugged into any powered campsites, although unfortunately I left my fridge a tiny bit ajar a few days ago, so I'm thinking that I will need to plug in to charge up properly since it hasn't been that sunny this week. But definitely have reduced my power consumption to almost zero. Now, I say almost because my inverter really guzzles power, which makes it not ideal to charge my laptop in the van, so if I'm doing some editing I prefer to go somewhere else like a library and charge it there. So that's really my only on-grid consumption of power at the moment. Outside of that, it's just incidental stuff. Now, as for physical waste in the form of rubbish, I think I'm probably generating pretty much the same amount as I was when I was living in a house, and that's because this really just comes down to how much food packaging suppliers use, and a lot of this stuff is pretty much unavoidable. Although what is quite annoying is that a lot of this packaging is recyclable nowadays, but very few public places actually have separate landfill and recycling bins. So unfortunately, a lot of that packaging that could be recycled, I'm having to put into the landfill bins because there isn't another option publicly available. I've been trying to reduce the food packaging in my packed lunches, and with the help of my nan who bought me these, I've replaced my single-use plastic bags with these reusable versions. Next, I want to talk about food waste, and this is something that I've been mindful of even before I started van life, and I always suspected that I would have less food waste once I was living independently, writing my own shopping list, buying my own goods, and being responsible and aware of everything that was in my fridge at any given time. Having said that, so far I have generated a little more food waste than I would like to. The first one was half a lettuce, which was totally my own fault. I knew that I had it, but I just didn't have anything to eat it with, and it ended up going bad. The other things that went bad were a bit beyond my control. For example, with me leaving the fridge open by mistake, I ended up having to throw some milk out, And also I've noticed that if I leave bread out and it rains, it goes moldy basically instantly. So I have to store bread in the fridge if it's going to be raining, so lesson learnt from now on. Probably one of the biggest ways in which a lot of people produce waste is through materialism, like fast fashion. Now, since before van life, I've been on a bit of a minimalist journey, but especially living in the van, I only have so much storage, which means I don't buy things that aren't necessary, and I actually haven't bought any clothes along my trip yet. I've just been using things that I brought from home, and that has been perfectly adequate so far. And finally, the main way in which people consider van life to be worse for the environment is in the actual pollutants that the van itself emits. However, I found myself to be driving less now that I am traveling, and that's because there's so much to see. I don't have to go far each day to get to a new destination. This is normally only around 15 or maximum 30 minutes per day, so I'm definitely driving less than a standard Sydney commute would be per day. Also, it's much more environmentally friendly doing it as one big chunk like this, where I'm just traveling little bits each day, rather than someone, say, going away each weekend, driving all the way out of their city and then all the way back each weekend, because that would use a lot more petrol. Was this list what you thought it would be? Let me know in the comments below if there was something that surprised you. If you want to check out more of my van life content, then I will link in the description my van tour, my van build, and my van vlogs. I think I will be doing another vlog next week. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want to catch new videos every single Saturday, then be sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.